not to take that off you, how do you feel about that? Blah de blah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, but even without knowing that, I knew that's what happened behind the scenes. I knew that you're not going to do that. Like,
yeah.
And I've killed players that it was part of the scenario that a player must die here.
Yeah.
And I approached somebody beforehand and said, like, this is what's gonna happen. Are you game for that? And he was going down. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
I still didn't know what was. I mean, I knew Titus was done, and I didn't want to play him anymore. But we didn't know when he was going to die. Jed still kept that thing wrapped up.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, but what I didn't want to do, Sam, was force you to take levels in Warlock.
I remember. I made the choice, not you.
Yeah, we had that discussion about what that was going to mean and what that was going to look like and be like. Yeah, kind of. You could have resisted it. You could have, done all sorts of things.
Nope, I just went with it.
No, I know. Yeah, and I respect that. It was great. It's made for good storytelling. And I hope everyone else has enjoyed it. Versus this other guy he wasn't the worst railroader you'd ever meet, but every so often he'd just say, "No, this is what's happening." And I was inexperienced enough as a character, as a player, to just go like, "Yeah, cool, all right, I'm going to go with it. That's what the game is." And
my headcanon.
Well, yeah. And it was fine. It was fun. I had written Willard to be, a retired old copper and therefore a bit racist, and so it was just like, look, it's fine. It's not like it doesn't fit with the character, but yes, yeah, absolutely. No. I'm not going to linger on his death in.
I'll reincarnate him for you if you want.
Amongst other things. But yeah, absolutely.
Put him into a turkey. Reincarnate him into an orc. Into an orc, mate. Because, or a lizard man. Because then he would untrust himself. Right.
Before I get into a recap then and kind of run with that, I will follow on by saying, actually, I'm not sure what you guys are going to do today, so I've got several different things lightly planned, and it might mean a question of, like, if you guys do something especially that I'm not expecting, which is entirely plausible, run with it. I might be a bit slow digging through certain notes or...
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think
we go with the flow.
We're probably going to go where you expect, which is the city, right?
As I say, wherever you like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Gav, did you have a question just now?
Yeah. I think it's Circle of Death is in the Librum.
Yeah.
Of Souls and Flesh. It's level 6 spell.
You don't have slots for that, huh?
Yeah, so I just want to say that in the background I'm collecting bits and bods and ends to start prepping it and getting it into my spellbook.
That is exciting.
That's it. I think it's a seriously expensive spell in terms of its what was it? Circle of Death. Yeah, the powder of a crushed black pearl. No, that's not that one. Is it Finger of Death? I remember reading them anyway, where I needed something worth like 5,000 gold pieces.
It's 500.
Yeah, that's Circle of Death. So I think maybe I was looking at something else, because there was something like it needed a statue of me. Oh, it's Contingency. It's the spell I did actually take. It needs a statuette carved from ivory and studded with gems worth at least 1,500.
Okay.
So that's something I'm probably going to have to get somebody else to make. Maybe I'll carve it and get somebody to do the gym work. Yeah, okay. Well, I'm sure you can knead your drinking horns. You're used to working with ivory. As long as it's got my picture on it, I think we're good.
The brewer's tools, not barista's tools. Fine. Okay.
Oh yeah, I didn't do my Metro Plus one. I'll do that in a minute.
Yeah. So, Sam, yeah, if you were going to look for half plate,
No, I had the full plate. I was gonna get it. When we go to the city, it's
you'll
just
find a smith.
assuming
Yeah.
at downtime in the city that I want to go and get that adjusted to half for me.
Yeah.
And as payment, you can have the rest of the Metro to meltdown or something.
Remove magic items from the rogue elf, spellbook, gems, and a sword. And from the fighter, we take a spear, armor, and belt, all magic. Yeah, okay, I've got them written down, but not in detail of what they were.
I've given you full lists of those things. A lot of those things are in the Discord, in the D&D Discord channel.
Yeah.
You didn't keep the spell book from the rogue, I don't think. If you did, then I can write you down a number of spells, but...
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah, I think you gave it back to her. On Beyond.
You have to go to character select.
You go to campaigns, and on that list you assign it or claim the character, is that right? We scroll. So Jethro is in the list of deactivated characters. So Gav can resolve that by deactivating somebody else. Maybe I'll gladly have yeah.
Okay, give me a sec. Do it now? Yeah. Okay. View campaign. And do I just delete a character?
Deactivate. Yeah, deactivate them so that Gex can activate his character. No, not Liam. Oh wait, hang on.
Yeah, Liam's fine because I would say they're not. Yeah,
there's one that needs to be activated, isn't there, for all the books?
That is Magical Herring. Magical Herring's character needs to stay active in the thing and assigned.
I can only see the unassigned characters in this list. Oh, there's deactivated characters.
If you've got unassigned, you can. Yeah, I would say deactivate one of the unassigned characters. The one that's just Victorian's character.
I've got a
Doesn't
few.
have any, yeah.
Get rid of Sigismund or fucking Felix. I did,
Yeah, they don't delete. They just.
Yeah, done.
And he'll need to activate Jethro. So Jethro Chadwick II, you'll need to scroll down to and kind of.
Yeah, because if I ever go to make a character thing, I always do it in there so I can see what all the
books.
shit is. Yeah,
I follow you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I do
otherwise
exactly
you
the
don't
same.
get fuck all.
Yeah.
I do have a question for the party though. My mate, his D&D game got closed down from the way he was playing it, and he asked me if he could join ours. I'm not fussed either way, but I thought I'd ask because it's at least polite.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it absolutely is. Is he a twat?
No. It's Shadow King. He's played some fucking games with us before. He would generally be quite a good-hearted person, so it could be quite a funny mix with us.
Yeah. Is he reliable?
I sort of vaguely remember him. I don't know about
he played
reliability.
some thingy with us.
The Helldivers he came play the other day?
Yeah, he would
Let's
be
talk
reliable.
He's reliable. So
Nice.
yeah, if we say
Yeah.
because all of us said no, it's Thursday at 7. You've got
Yeah.
to come along.
Yeah, I wouldn't actually fucking ask if they weren't reliable, because
Yeah.
it just makes me look like a cunt.
Well, that's the risk. I mean, this is the thing. It's sometimes you ask. There's asking so that you can tell him, yeah, I asked, and there's asking
Yeah.
so that you mean it, and those are two different things. So I've got to do my diligence on that. I appreciate your recommendation doesn't come out of nowhere.
He ain't going to be any worse than Bloody Hound.
Yeah,
or Creo was for reliability.
Oh, he's going to be way better than Korea.
Jamie
For
will be
example, yeah.
reliable. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd also make it known, like, it will look bad on me. Because
Creo messaged me and said he can't make the game for the next 3 months.
Fucking guy. Goodness me. Well, yeah.
Korea's
You
not
can
a
add the
diddler. He's a
item.
fucking. He's an avoider, whatever you call it.
refresh it.
Yep. You're going to take the Lancia. Is anybody taking the short sword? Nobody uses swords anyway, do they?
Not really.
I mean,
But
I will take it to
We
sell
take
it.
it. Sell it, yeah.
That's going to be
Like-
fucking valuable. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
If we're
Yeah,
not
we'll sell it for the party.
Yeah.
What's that glimmering short sword and lance? Yeah,
Glimmering
okay.
shorts. Yeah.
What does a
I've
short
got
sword do? Glimmering
1d6,
one?
I think.
So
Oh,
it's in terms of damage, it's a d6.
It's not the damage; it's the extra. What's the glimmering effect? Why is it?
So,
it's linked somewhere. Have a look.
Yeah, it's linked in the channel. But basically, I'll run you through it. If you hit a character, they have. Do you know what the mirror image spell effect does?
Not fully. I assume it gives you like +1 AC or some shit.
No.
It's not quite like that. It's if you've got mirror image cast on you, if somebody wants to target you, they have to roll to see which. It's like they see multiple versions of you.
Okay, so you
So
don't
they
know
have
which
to
one
they
you're
have to
gonna
roll to see whether they're going to hit you or not. Basically,
Cool.
So it has a temporary short mirror image. I flavored it like if I hit you with it, you are
Yeah.
temporarily out of phase with me. So you have to kind of your mirror image to me. On a crit, it casts confusion.
Okay.
And confusion is a fucking wild spell if you cast it if you're hitting kind of powerful enemies with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. That should serve quite a lot. Like I've got Titus's magic scimitar, which I want to sell as well.
They're just fucking thinking, like, in case something got close to me, I can smack it, and it might give me extra AC.
Yeah.
No.
Well, you can use strength or dex on it. It doesn't give you AC per se, but it will stack with your strong AC quite well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, mirror image is great actually for a couple of reasons. You will occasionally come across creatures that have like a guaranteed hit, but mirror image kind of defies that. So there's a particular high level construct. I think it is something like a CR20, but the monster manual listing just says it hits.
Yeah.
If it targets you, it hits. But mirror image would circumvent that because it would have to roll to see whether it actually targeted you properly or not.
Or cool.
You know? That sort of thing. So yeah, if you want a defensive weapon, that's a good one.
I think I will hold off. I need to look for the staff of trees, whatever it is. Staff of the woodlands. I need.
Yeah.
Oh. I could also get Jamie to come into the channel if you wanted to fucking chat to him about it. But
I send
Sorry?
him my Discord account. I'll have a little chat with him. Does everybody want to talk to the guy another day?
I know who he is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have no objections. If he passes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
if he
Cool.
passes.
If everyone's happy with that, I'll have a little talk with the guy. In principle, having another character on doesn't mess things up too much. I'll kind of talk to him about what we've been doing, and basically, amongst other things, let him know what we've been doing in the game to see if that appeals to him.
Because I know,
Uh,
And
he spoke to me about his character before. He was playing like an auto gnome, but I said to him that probably wouldn't fit in our world, and he's happy to change shit like that as well.
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, yeah,
any D&D
depending on what he
player
wants
should
to do,
know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should know that you fit to the setting, not the.
yeah.
exactly.
Do you know how long he's been playing?
Not fully long.
Yeah.
About half a year or something like that. I think.
Yeah, that's fine.
So he's still newish.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him about it. Yeah, get him to drop me a message on Discord is probably best.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll
Um,
fucking
yeah,
grab
you ping
the
in my account or
thingy.
my username or whatever. But I've
I'm
got
just
no,
taking notes of what the loot, and I'm trying to find out where it is. So,
Yeah.
what am I throwing in the bag of holding?
Sam is taking the armor.
Cool.
Gex is taking the belt. You've got the
Okay.
2 spell gems, which I assume Obadiah is taking, although anybody can use them.
No,
String.
it looks good on you. I know. I'm so tempted. I don't know what I'd use it.
Just bar fight.
Walking
Bar
stick,
fight.
like, yeah.
Walk up to someone, bang.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the short sword is going as loot. Jethro's claiming the spear, the lancia. And then there's a healing potion.
Yeah, that'll just, if anyone wants it, or
Yeah,
throw it
absolutely.
in the bag. I think we've all got some of those.
And
Yeah,
then
you
I
take
can't
it if you
remember,
want it.
which particular ruling the healing
Yeah,
potion is, what grade it is, but I've written the.
It's 3d4 plus 3.
I'll add it 'cause
3d4
I
plus
don't have
4.
any.
I've written 3d4 plus 4, whatever. That's just my ruling. I don't know what grade that counts as, whether that counts as greater or superior or regular or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
I've got
It's
two
in
basic
between.
ones on me.
Yeah.
Greater is 4d4. Superior is more. Normal is normal, which is 2. So whatever. I've had a good greater. Deal with it.
Yeah. That's one way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not having some half potion.
Okay.
Ugh.
And then as to where we are, you are in the mirrored ballroom of the Claxton house.
Mhm.
On the northwest edge of the town of Porthmarn. Home
Oh yeah,
one
all the
Obadiah
spirit
Black.
buildings.
Yeah. Home to House Goss. Home to hundreds, thousands of others, hard-working families, seafaring folk, trades, and the borderland, the frontier post of a whole farming community. The town itself split not even down the middle, but by some civil unrest, literally barricaded, as 2 strangers rode in and accused one of the noble houses of dabbling in matters infernal and forbidden, and turned the town, its people, its powers, against that house that owned the docks, the house of your employer and patron, John Goss. And so now returning home, you have sought revenge, sought to uncover what is happening in House Claxton, and found 2 apparent agents of a foreign state the state with which your nation is at war. Embedded within this house, acting as advisors, assassins,
Mm.
and hellraisers. It appears, upon interrogation, that they had believed that you, and you specifically, Obadiah, but also you as a collective, had been yourself agents of an infernal force, of a devil, the very devil itself that you know to have corrupted young Caitlin Goss, that you suspect to have corrupted other forces within the nation of Lurich. The devil whose incursions you have witnessed elsewhere, whose effects you have seen festering and growing in corners of great houses across the nation. One of these agents is dead, burned to a crisp on the floor of the glittering ballroom, as is Lady Julia Claxton herself, seared by lightning bolt as she tried
Yeah.
to flee.
That could be difficult to explain away.
A shame we didn't get the Lord as well.
No, he's
Or
at
whatever
court.
he is. It's all right. We'll go and kill him in court in front of the king.
No, we take Goss with us, and we'll make them duel.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
You have parleyed with a slim elf in northern uniform, identifying herself as Mina Boreal. And one of you, and I believe tacitly the others then, has agreed to let her live. Return to her spellbook.
Yeah, which we've got a good look at, so we can locate item in case we need to try and find her.
Yeah? And past her your signet ring. An act which shows
Gav was
some
trying to
trust indeed.
pull some fucking foreign elf strange. He's just trying to get some elf strange.
And then in the last moments of the encounter, Captain Willard Hanna, head of the household guard in House Goss, long-time friend perhaps, or colleague at least, of Mr. Obadiah Black, succumbed to wounds he had suffered earlier in the day.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds right.
Some of those wounds apparently fresher and more profuse than they had appeared.
Yeah, he was
recurring.
executed during the fight. By the
Oh,
enemy.
Have we
Was an
searched
enemy's
the
weapon.
house yet? We should search the house, take anything valuable, then set fire to it by accidentally knocking a lamp over. Because that's what happened in the fight trying to rescue him. The lamp got knocked over and the building burnt.
I think it should be more symbolic than that. What do you think, Obadiah? The end of the Goss tyranny? Not the Goss, the other ones. Paxton. Yeah, sorry.
Did they have any children?
Yeah, I know a guy who's good with them.
Yeah.
Quick to the roof.
They do have children and extended family. None of them are in town presently, to your knowledge,
Okay.
Obadiah. They, you know.
So we can't send the
No.
demon woman a fucking gift.
I think we should leave the house. Leave its contents. My idea is that we are a small faction in this nation. that knows the truth. And these warriors to the north that have invaded could be invading for that very reason, that they are aware of this corruption. Yeah, that's what she believed. I looked into her mind.
With mind powers.
There was a limit to what she knew about the kind of context of her mission, but she definitely knew that there was infernal presence and corruption here. She knew about Caitlin. She knew your name and that you had been involved in Caitlin's education.
Yeah.
And
I probably would have met her.
Yeah, and it's things that a spy who had spent time in Porthmarn could put together. Things about local geopolitics, that sort of thing. Local politics.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I was referring to I probably would have met Lady Claxton.
You definitely had met Lady Claxton. In business.
Okay, so
yeah, I meant Mina. Sorry if I
yeah,
wasn't clear.
no. I just only said the wrong thing, but yeah, I get you. So the scene that we're leaving is orc bodies. Is there orc bodies here?
There's one orc body. There are a couple of dead bandits dressed in guard uniform.
And then there's Willard.
One dead elf in a northern soldier's armor, and Lady Claxton.
Hopefully that's a confusing enough scene to leave. But let's take was it the Tooth Taker?
Yeah, it was Gex's bro.
It was Tongy, yeah.
Yeah.
Cheese beef.
Man, that's pretty shit. You just joined your clan as well. Jed, you're an asshole.
Well, I did ask him if he wants me to reincarnate.
We get the fuck out of here.
All right then.
I agree. I think we need to go to the city, I assume. This needs to be all reported back, right?
Agreed. But
I wouldn't mind getting my hands on one of those shiny badges you guys are carrying.
We need a rest. And we've got the problem of Goss not knowing the situation.
Well, Lord Goss should come back worst to the king. He's going to need to be able to make his case to him at least. No matter what.
We bring him with us.
What about those automatons out in the courtyard? Are they still active?
Oh, yes. I forgot about them.
They were inert, though. They had no instruction. Without an instruction, there's no,
Yeah. All right. Let's try get out the back door. Get back to Goss.
Yeah.
See what's become of what was it? Murmur? What was the big guy's name?
Murmur was the giant, yeah.
Pretty sure the giant's dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the table here, there are doors at the east and the west of the room, as well as the set of stairs where Jethro's character is. If you want to look for a way through, I'm not going to play you dungeon-like through here, but I'm going to see how much more you discover.
We head for the door that Lady Claxton was going for.
The other thing,
Yeah,
we
good
haven't actually searched this building to find if there's any sort of fucking profane temples.
Well, not even that. At the very least, surely the Lord Goss would want some information, which would probably be about this house, seems as they've been at war with you. Maybe
Yeah, well,
we could find another banditry map.
We should find.
Yeah, we could find proof of his corruption.
Yeah,
there's
good thinking
to look for.
Sorry, there's a little bit of Titus coming out there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. No problem.
Well, let's take the door Lady Claxton was moving for. Let's see
the
what
door
we can
the
find.
door the lady was going for leads you out into a corridor. From the way that it's decorated, it's likely a servant and service corridor.
I'm going to look for an office, Jed, and just
absolutely.
out on my own.
What I will do is I will ask anyone that wants to look around. I can either have everyone make an investigation check, or 2 people roll with advantage if people want to just say you can help and you can help, something like that.
Yeah, someone else can make the row with the advantage for us then, because
I've got investigation 9 plus 9, so
crap.
So if we get Obadiah and Gromnon each to roll with advantage, because and we'll flavour that as the 4 of you are looking around and assisting, but
there's a 9 plus 9, 22.
Me and Gex has got really good perception, so we're just using our
13, Jed. I'm not very good at investigating.
Oh yeah, you. Nah.
But a 22 was the high roll from Obadiah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Rooting through the house, you find the usual mixture of things. Now, bear in mind, the corridor you've come into is a servant's corridor. It's not well adorned, but it is logically laid out and feeds into discrete doors leading into bedrooms, studies.
Yeah, it'll be the study I think I focus first.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking around a study, the first one you come to is legitimate and opulent. It has a good window, a good fireplace, and several chairs set up. It seems to you, looking around, though, that there isn't a lot of information here. When I say study, it's more like a meeting room. It is held up for that way. It's decorated like any other study would be. There are books. There is, a large map of the nation as well as the surrounding farmland. If you were to be invited to discuss Claxton's business, that's probably where you'd be taken on a legitimate matter.
Okay.
And then after a little bit, you realise that the position of the door coming from the servants' quarters, the doors have been nice and regular, and you realise that the gap between where the wall is in this study and the next door, which should then feed into the next room, doesn't match up.
So there must be a panel or something to get through.
With the 22, it doesn't take you too long to spot a particular mark on the map. The paper seems a little more faded than the others. Perhaps kind of scratched where it's pinned on the wall. So the map is marked up on the wall, and there's a particular patch of the map that is kind of faded and worn a little bit.
Let's see if there's a button or something, or if it folds back. Or
that's exactly what happens. You push on that particular section of the map, and you hear a locking mechanism unclick in the bookshelf.
Ooh. A secret entrance, gentlemen. Whatever could he be hiding? Right. Swing open the door, or the bookcase.
Heading inside. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to list things that you find in here. There's a bunch of stuff. It's a secret extra storage room. The decoration is similar but considerably less opulent. There is a good quality lamp that is rigged up by similar reflective material to what you find, polishing and things to cast a good amount of light. But you do find a more detailed map of banditry settlements in the Tolvaden Woods and the local area.
Is there any inventory lists of hauls, monetary income, or anything like that?
There is an annotated map based on the local farms. Which ones are keeping up with? So what you found on previous ledgers in the first study will have been lists of ones which are Claxton owned, which are ones just pay rent. And then there's also a record of
extortion.
That's exactly what I'm going to say there. Basically, of which ones are actively assistive to the local groups. Again, what comes to you piecing piece by piece by piece, basically farms are given the choice of either paying tribute or providing services one way or another, whether that is shelter, whether that is mounts and livestock, whether that is food. And so that is recorded here on this extra map, which farms are providing what.
So they're using them for protection.
Look like we got
Sorry,
a
they're
Rico
offering
case.
protection.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to grab that map.
Yep. There is a not particularly well decorated. You might almost miss it if the lights were off. You wouldn't easily spot it. That's for sure. A locking box. It is heavy when you go to pick it up.
Hmm. Well,
Might need that belt after all.
And then, not in a way that's going to take a spell check, a strength check or anything like that. But it's got a heft to it. You also find a short sword, effectively taped held in by leather strapping to the underside of a particular table.
okay. I'll leave the sword there if no interest. But I will ask Jethro to see if he can open that lockbox. Yeah, this one here.
Okay.
Hang on. I can open it. I cast knock on it.
Cast knock on it. Okie dokie. Everyone make no con saves. Okay, fine. It's not trapped. The box opens. There is jewelry and gold. So you have a mixture of gems. I can spell everything out if you really need to know anything, particularly for spell components. But there is a mixture of gems that, for the sake of whoever's taking notes, and you can get this all. What's the fucking word?
I'm thinking of not
Yeah.
taking this.
Okay.
This is the evidence of his misdeeds over the past few years.
Well, you take that with the ledgers and present it as evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Present
Don't
it as
have
a
to keep
gift.
it.
I would like to see if there's any, like a collection of wedding rings, gold teeth, like anything, or jewelry that I recognize, like from a rich woman in town. Anything like that. So is there any evidence like that this is stolen and not just his savings?
It seems to be stashed. There's a lot of cash in there as well. I was going to get on to coins. From the glance at it, there might be 10,000 gold pieces worth of cash.
Oh,
But when I say might be, I'm going to say as DM there is.
You should seize that for the king.
We certainly shall.
Yeah.
Still has to pay us yet.
Let's let the
Exactly.
king.
And yeah, I was going to say 7,000 gold's worth of jewelry and jewels.
We should seize that for our own pockets.
If we examine the map of all the thingies, is there any differentiation symbols? So, like, one may be a stash, or do you know what I mean? Like these symbols.
Sure, yeah.
Du-du-du.
With regard to your question, Gav, do you have a role in mind? Would this be a history check to see if you're
there's
aware of
anything
anything being an
famous,
heirloom
maybe?
piece? Yeah, heirloom pieces from certain families, or provenance, that sort of thing. Some people know about jewelry and recognizing a particular maker. If you've got a different check in mind, I'm happy to hear it.
Could it also not be like maybe signet rings might have sigils and things?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd go for another history check. Yeah. So famous gems or names on rings or markings or heraldry. Yeah.
Absolutely. Perhaps maker's marks.
17.
A 17. Turning a couple of things over, you do come across a necklace. There are sapphires set into it, but the clasp itself doesn't take you long to recognize silver, and that has a stamp in it that you recognize as being a well-known jeweler from Hyluri. The jeweler's name, he's a gnomish jeweler, and his name is Turbal Fuzga. He is sometimes referred to as Terrible Fucker.
By you?
Not just by me, but by,
By the local
business,
halls.
yeah, business rivals. He's that well known in Hyluri, as being in the way that you might refer to. I'm trying to think of a real world example. His stuff is well known enough to have its own kind of nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to strap. How big is this chest? Could I carry it?
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Jeffro can.
Yeah, Desco can certainly carry it. It's got a good heft to it. You'll have a bag of holding, if you recall.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it'd fit in it.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the size that a person's going to get into.
Okay. Well, in that case, it can go. It can be strapped up, closed again, and then put into the bag of holding.
Yeah, it'll fit into that.
Okay, so gentlemen, I think I'm pretty exhausted. And while I could get us to Hyluri, I'd rather get us to Hyluri.
I can get us to
Recharged.
Hyluri without an issue.
Yeah, but I need a rest, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But it's not making the mistake we did last time.
It's been a long old morning for you.
I'm in agreement.
So let's get back to the Goss Manor.
Mm.
Suggest strongly that Lord Goss accompanies us to court.
Mm-hmm.
Explain the presence of these two northerners here. And the bandit camp map. And, yeah.
Hope he has someone to be able to take care of the town while he's gone.
Well, he doesn't. That's the problem. But with the town no longer being extorted, maybe things will start to return to normal. Still a lot of bandits here. The place could do with a proper militia.
Well, our fucking lieutenant will have to step up, won't he? If he's got one.
The problem is I know they're obviously paying protection, but were they actually also being the bandits themselves, definite, or was there actually a legitimate protected from as well? That might be an issue for these farmers. They will need someone else to keep them safe.
Seems more like a racketeering operation where they're all reporting back to him. Small groups.
Well, you'd have to expand. He only has 10 people, doesn't he?
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's go rest.
Yeah.
Continuing
down the servants' corridor, it doesn't take you long to find your way to the stables. There's a stable entrance. You can smell the straw and the horse shit before you see any of it, and the corridor gets dirtier and dirtier.
Trees in Lord Goss's little manor house garden?
Not in, but nearby. Certainly, yeah.
Could I have looked at one and paid attention to it before we left?
That's like a day ago.
That's the sort of thing that Tor will have done. So let's say, yeah, it's things like, so bear in mind that Goss's house is right on the coast, and so what you've ended up with is a beaten up old beach surrounded by kind of gorse and bracken. What tree there is weathered and gnarly and wind raggled, but strong looking.
Cool. And are there any trees close where we are now in the...
Where you are now is much more civilized. There are no trees in the Claxton yard.
Yeah.
As you come out to the stables, there are a number of other staff attending to the horses, trying to go by their daily business. They look terrified at seeing you. They know exactly who you are. Obadiah especially. And they simply flee upon seeing you.
That'll do.
Well,
Well, he
die
looked
they
nice,
feared.
Well, there's
Well, there's horses. We could take them.
There are a number of horses. Wait, you're near the western edge of town.
But
you
if
want
there's a tree
to-
close, we can get back even quicker. We just have to find a tree.
yeah. If I know where like a garden is, or if I remember,
Can we see any fucking tops of any trees from where we are? Yeah,
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah. If that's
I'm
what you'd
jumping
like
on a
to do,
horse.
to just walk back across town,
Mhm.
bringing Tongi's body just kind of slung over your shoulders.
I'm taking a fucking horse. I don't care.
yeah.
Tora's taking a horse.
Yep.
The horses are not saddled or tacked up, but they are strong looking.
Right, I'll talk to it and I will.
You talk to your horse.
Yeah.
Advantage of being a druid.
Walking back across town, you face. There is some sounds of violence, and it is by fortune more than anything else that you come across no one who simply isn't already running or doesn't turn away. Teenagers are smashing windows on businesses. There is smoke. You would judge between you and the harbour somewhere, pouring upwards. But you are able to get back towards the Goss house without incident. You're 100 feet away when Jethro and Tor, I think you both have decent passive perception these days.
Yeah, 15.
15?
Yeah,
On your passive perception? Is that all it is, 15?
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
my passive
14.
insight. Mine's 19 on my passive.
Mine's 14
Insights
as
are
well.
both high as fuck. Perception's only 15, yeah.
Tell you what. Let's get perception checks then from all of you. I'm just gonna... Okay. That rolled higher than I expected. Yeah, fine.
18.
17.
Anyone higher than 18?
Sorry, 18 as well.
Yeah?
All right, 2 seconds. Computer is being low. 22. No, 20. 22.
20.
22.
22.
22, sorry.
In which
Well,
case
16.
Gromnon is the one that hears this.
Yeah.
You are on the road, which you are aware the Gosses had vacated the houses. You're not aware of the means by which, but you're not expecting any life to be in these buildings. When you hear the sound of wood cracking and a string coming taut, there is a crossbow being aimed at you, you are sure. Although I'm
No!
not sure where from.
Just going to shout down. As in, get down.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to duck.
I will retract into my shell and fall off the horse.
You just like casually fall off like the fucking Mario Kart and then the horse trips over and dies.
What, like in the London yesterday?
I'll look around and try find a crossbow. Aiming. Assassin.
I haven't said crossbow, but I'm just saying down and lying down,
Yeah.
expecting a bolt to come. Next.
Yep.
lying down for that disadvantage. The
I
shot.
guess I'll look. Duck, I mean.
Yeah. Looking around across the street from you, higher up, a crossbow bolt is trembling just where the daylight strikes the tip. You can't see the person holding it until you look up towards it. And a young man in Goss uniform in the blue and silver steps forward into the light.
It's us.
You're back.
No, you scared the shit out of me, son. Careful where you're pointing that.
We weren't expecting you back. But no one else has come back.
Yeah.
This is why we told you not to go.
Yeah.
Fucking
Willard made a mistake. Cost him his life leaving this place.
It's
He told him to stay.
Captain's dead. Alright.
And the orcs. And the other big man.
The young man raises a cup, a tin cup, knocks it 3 times on the window frame, and whistles a particular note. Go on ahead now.
Definitely didn't like the way that sounded like an order.
Lord will be expecting you.
Head on in.
Yes, you should be.
After you, young man.
Oh, I've got to watch the road.
Ain't nothing going to
No,
be
you
coming from
don't.
the road now.
Anything attacks, they will be dead.
Left to attack.
Exactly. They're already dead.
They're all dead. What do you mean?
Not all of them. We took out some of the bandits. But there's more still about. You stay in position, lad.
Dead.
Just make sure you don't shoot no innocent people with that crossbow.
If I see any, I'll watch out for 'em.
Will you all be the next one?
He makes a face, looks up the road, and backs into the window a little more so that from your position, he's harder to spot again.
That wouldn't save you.
It isn't far now to the house, but the last few steps feel eerily quiet. A curtain twitches as you come close to the house. Somebody opens the door. A hungry-looking kitchen woman. Cook? Chef? Whatever.
Wench.
Yeah, kitchen wench, whatever. Member of the household staff. Black will know her as Isla. Opens the door. Shows you in.
Yeah, just stroll past. Head in.
Points towards the Goss study in which you met last night.
All right. Jethro, you better leave him in the yard.
You, lady, can you fetch a cover to put over the body?
We've enough shrouds now, where most of the curtains have gone from. Sure, we can make another.
Thank you. You must respect this hero. And I will nod at Jeffro.
All right, head towards the study.
The office feels cold. And the air in there is quite still. The day itself outside has been that funny mix. Summer near the coast feels cooler than it should. The air has whipped up and carried a cold wind. Where the little pockets of sunshine have stayed warm, really held the heat. John Goss's office, however, has not felt the warmth of the sun, nor the cold breath of the wind. In some time, it faces away from the sea. It faces away from the setting sun. Onto a street of empty houses. Hollowed out homes. The man himself sits next to a fire that barely has ash in it, let alone embers. And he has a cup in his hand, from which he sips and shudders. And turns around to you, Obadiah, and does not know what to do with his face, for the expression, the emotion that he is feeling, feels alien to him now.
Imagine he looks a bit like a carp. Just mouth gaping. Huh?
But he pauses for a second and collects himself. Straightens up in his chair and says, well, what do you have for me?
I'll produce the map of the bandit camps. We ran into 2 agents of the Northern armies. We managed to interrogate one and found out that the Northern fanatics invaded for a very good reason. They sought out these demons that are corrupting the great houses. We intend to take this evidence to the king. We're traveling there tomorrow. We would suggest, if you think it's wise to leave, you should come with us. This town is in chaos. You don't have the men to do much about it. You'll see here, I'll point to the areas on the map and the annotations and stuff. You've been extorting everyone. This map shows areas similar to the few we knew about, but there's more on this one, of camps around here. He has these men directly in his employ in town. But it turns out he was just a regular asshole. There's no sign of any infernal presence in his house. Not that... yeah. As far as we could tell, anyway.
Goss's face shifts a good bit again. You've just given him a lot of information, none of which he was particularly expecting. He settles on a frown. Says, what then? Evacuate the town? Send refugees north like I hear about coming down from the Bala Lake?
No, you'd only be sending them towards war.
Well,
We gotta recruit people.
Just need to implement some order.
I will telepathically, using my cantrip, say to message that is, what about the money? Could use it.
Well, if you
That's a
have,
message.
to me, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we have any capable leaders left, for Willard spent his life on a fool's errand. We did acquire some of Claxton's ill-gotten gains, and we could use it to hire. I don't know the numbers that Claxton had in his employ, so I can't really say how wise a plan that would be.
I'm sure 1,000 gold would go a far way to making a new city watch.
Problem is, we need them now.
Yeah, I think you could probably buy out a lot of his
Sailors.
mercenaries.
I'm sure there's some rough, tough sailors that would quite happily start knocking heads and keeping order.
Your call, but we can afford it.
Gus nods at this. Running the towns like a big ship. Running the docks.
And who wants to mess with a bosun who's been on a ship for 30 years with hardened seamen?
How do you think I lasted this long with him trying to push me into the sea, lad?
There's got to be men in the numbers that he recruited that are just there for the
very advisable for you to speak to the king, because, well,
you need his help.
You can make your case. You don't want us coming back for you.
Well, it would also explain any lack of tribute that I'm sure the king was expecting. I don't know how your contract works with him. But surely Claxton was a thorn in that side.
The war's drained a third of our staff. Put attacks on every ship coming into port.
It's rare for a journalist.
Between here and Wellston. It'll be rum to suggest that we're at threat with it. I never thought we'd face more than lost money, but all right.
Well, you've got till the morning to get someone to watch over the town. You'll be back within like 48 hours if the king doesn't take your head.
No. I can't leave here when it's not. The town itself isn't safe. 1 second.
And kind of has to go.
He doesn't.
No.
He'd I think be better off here defending.
We'll send a runner over to Julia. They'll let a letter through. I'll sit down with her and we'll make a settlement once and for all. She's not that daft. She won't.
There are no Claxtons to make a settlement with other than the Lord, who's in the capital.
Julia died.
He rubs his brow.
It wasn't my intention, but during the confrontation it happened. It's a complication, amongst other things.
You can prove she was harboring enemy soldiers.
There's a corpse of a Northern agent in their fucking building, so yeah.
And that's it. The evidence is a corpse that you left in the enemy's house untended.
With all these fucking medals and all this, treasure that we just brought back to you as well, plus the weapons from the bloke and some of their gear. We're
I
not
want
the ones who
anything.
let the town get overrun by a criminal lord. And we're still owed pay as well.
Hey. Oh, fucking pay. Yeah, fine. All right. Yeah. Pay is it? Pay is it? He stands now. He's leaning both palms on the desk. A vein's popping in the side of his head. It's pay, it's pay, it's pay. Right. Fine. I can do that. One thing I can do right.
I'm not
Walks.
demanding the pay now, my lord. I'm just saying that, we haven't even asked for payment, and we're doing all this for you. The amount of times we put our lives at risk, with nothing
Walks.
given in advance, no giving in advance to us or anything.
Yeah.
My life is worth something to me. It may not be worth to fuck all to you, but it's worth to me. So don't
He
get
walks
angry.
to a sofa at the corner of the room.
Because I could easily
Pulls
bring this
up a pillow.
entire goddamn house down.
Fishes the key from around his belt. Bring the fucking house down. Bring my fucking
Oh, I'd be
family
more than
down.
burn
Bring
the
down
house
the
down.
fucking
I'd bring the
city itself,
entire
indeed.
fucking town down if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So, best not to piss off a magic caster.
I'm going to message Obadiah again.
You
Sure,
hear a
it'd be the
key
worst
turn
thing if
in a lock.
if the leadership was completely replaced in the city.
And from the safe that he has concealed in the sofa of his study, he pulls one bag of coins, throws it square at Tor. I'll make a dex attack.
Don't know, Sam.
That'll bounce harmlessly off your chest, Tor. That there, that's the fucking money for bringing back Kate. And then another. This one flies clean past you, Tor. That'll be the money for murdering my fucking neighbour.
What, the neighbor that was trying to murder you?
A fucking civil dispute. And then a third bag.
Civil dispute.
Yeah.
Lord Goss, get a hold of yourself.
I would.
We're running
very-
banditry across this county. Your county.
Does
And
he?
then,
Have we told him that we're King's Ward yet? Has he seen the badges?
Yeah.
he has
Right.
indeed, yeah.
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 Do you want to be taken to the king forcibly? Because that's quite capable.
Oh, indeed.
What are you talking
Indeed.
about, Tor? Lord Goss has done nothing wrong.
Well, his daughter.
No,
was
no,
into
no,
chaos
no, no.
magic.
Slap me in fucking irons, lad. Drag me away. From the fucking town that I'm trying to save. You've had a bag of coins hit you harmlessly in the chest, Tor, and two others fly past your head and miss.
And I've just laughed. Literally,
Yeah.
was not.
I'm gonna take the lockbox out of the bag of holding, put it on his desk, open it up, and start both my hands start to shovel the coins, if I can, only, or some of the gems.
Yeah.
Onto his desk.
Fuck.
These are the Claxton's gains over who knows how long. There's some obvious evidence in here that we wish to bring to the crown, but there's also this should amply supply any sort of militia that you need to put together for the
Okay.
short term, anyway.
Pick up the bag that hit me in the chest. I'll pocket
Mhm.
that, and I'll give him back the other two bags, and
Yeah.
just be like, just ask for fair payment for work done.
Yeah.
That's all.
Treat it as
Reinvest this back into your
yeah.
town.
250 gold in that one bag. For you to.
Fuck me,
The
it's
one
the
that you're
first bit of gold I've actually got in my own
Yeah.
pocket. I'm going to keep that for me.
Well, don't worry, Tor. I have it all written down in a ledger. I'll have it all taken care of. Anytime you need something, 10 gold for some new shoes or whatever, I'll have it sorted out for you.
Don't wear no fucking shoes. Christ, have you seen my feet? They're like fucking leather anyway.
I'm gonna just for ledger's sake, I'm gonna dump out approximately 1,000 gold pieces.
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Yep.
When I give him back the other 2 bags, I will say to him, "No hard feelings. Reinvest this into your town.
No, I've
You seem like a generally good guy, but you need to back off at getting angry when someone asks for payment for a job fucking done."
He's calmed down a little, but his mustache twitches.
And I am going to just emphasize a point. I'm going to wild shape into a bear for a second, let him see that, and then turn back to normal.
Okay. You can give me an intimidation check if you'd like.
Yeah, why not? And a terrible one of 8. No,
8.
6. What was that? That 9? 9, 10.
9, 10. Okay. You recall on doing it, on seeing his expression, in your walks through the hallway the night before, a chamber of hunting trophies, including a bear's head.
Yeah. Maybe. That
But
may be a bear.
regardless,
Right, I'm gonna rebag the box.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this room because it's all whatever it is. On the way out, I'll just say, "I'm eating, I'm sleeping, and when I wake up, we're going to Hillary."
And that Taro's an abrasive prick.
I just want to point out, I couldn't give a shit what happens to this town. I wish you luck. I'm not going to leave.
There's a parting sentiment.
I just don't. Why do I want to?
No, of course not. Yeah. Peace.
That's not. I'm not here for that.
So what time of day is it, Jet?
About lunchtime.
Fuck.
You guys set off on the movement. So you've spent a couple of hours, including your short rest. But it was
Yeah, it was morning.
Yeah. I think did Willard
There's Smith
set
at
off
this
his
time.
attack about 10? Did he say he was going to do that?
I don't know.
Can't remember the exact order.
I think Willard said he was. Willard said he was going to start his attack about 10 in the morning, which, amongst other things, is probably a bad tactical decision. But whatever. So you set off, after breakfast. Spent a couple of hours, including an hour's rest, crossing town, and then you've had about another hour coming back. So it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Obadiah.
Time for a late lunch.
So, is there a spiff in this town? A good one?
Yeah, but there used to be. Don't know what. No point in going out there and finding them now.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Why do you want one?
Well, it's just we've got a free afternoon. If we're going tomorrow, I'd quite like to sort out this gear of mine. That was all.
Oh, well, I'm sure there's somebody in Hillary that could do it.
Yeah, yes, of course.
Oh, actually, no, I can't. I haven't got it prepared.
Quite excited to go to the capital. I've not been there before.
It's
The fucking shit out.
nice.
Is there many
If you stick
many
to the-
dwarfs?
Yeah, few.
Excellent.
I totally just made that up, Jed. No idea.
Yeah,
There's
there
dwarves not present.
are several dwarves in Hillary.
I
At
imagine
least
there's
7.
two
There's
Yeah.
four.
of,
Yeah.
crafting, at least.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of dwarves that you have specifically met, because there will have been dwarves there were at least one of the guards in the Hall of Artifice was a guard. There were guards in the army.
The guard.
There were dwarves. Was a dwarf. So there was a dwarf in the Hall of Artifice. One of the guards there. nature
population of
cleric
dwarves in
that Tor
Hungary.
met was yeah. I'm trying to think of specific dwarves that you have met. The nature cleric that Tor met at the temple of
He was a dwarf, yeah.
he was a
Remember
dwarf.
Hmm.
Talk to
I
you
wonder
about
if I'll be able
druidic gathering,
to.
that sort of thing.
Wonder if I'll be able to rebuild my flock in such a place. The truth must be,
Yeah.
told.
There were dwarves that you met in the bag of nails. And
Yeah, you don't need to tell me all the dwarfs shit.
yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna say to Jeffro as well. Don't bury Thingy yet. Let me perform a rite on him tomorrow before you bury him.
Hmm. Indeed. I assume the religions of the orcs is more of a druidic in nature, not shamanistic.
I imagine they'd be quite similar enough. Yeah, they'd have, love for the land.
Well, funnily enough. Yeah.
Ah, the
York,
great
York,
green
York.
eyes, hey? Orca Morca.
All right. Yeah, I've got nothing to do, so I'm going for a long rest.
Grant?
Yeah.
You're
Fuck
just
it.
going up. You're
Likewise.
going up to your bedroom.
Well, I mean, I can't sleep at lunchtime, so no, I'll be hanging around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go find
Got
a
any,
bush to go hide in, and then just.
Got any cards?
No, yes, of course. I'll choose a
Dice.
deck of cards.
There we go. Let's
Well, I do
entertain
wanna s-
ourselves.
I do want to spend an hour of my time during the day here.
Yep.
What's the word?
Right.
We should
What?
make a copy of that map as well.
Quelling any suspicions, and I want to search this house to make sure there's no temples.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okie dokie. This
Is
feels
there-
like an investigation check, Gav. If I get you to roll it, and I'll come back to you in a moment. I'll speak to everyone else just briefly.
Can I
Is
be
there
cheeky and
any...
ask for advantage
Go on.
because I lived in this house for many
Yes.
years?
Absolutely, please. Yeah.
Is there any dwarfs in the employee of Goss? Any of the servants or anything? Just out of interest.
So I'll get the advice. Yeah. Good question, Sam. Let me come back to you. I'll
Shit
get
roll.
you. What was the total?
13.
13. Okie dokie. Yeah, Sam. A couple of the kitchen staff, and again one of the guards that you can find, kind of high up in the house.
Oh, I want to dissuade their worries, and I just want to corrupt them, basically.
Assuage their yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yeah. Preach to their sentiment of toil and hardship, and how they are being mistreated, and
Okay.
there's corruption in the
Are you
land.
some sort of fucking communist?
No, worse.
He is a
Actually, maybe more like a Stalinist than a communist.
Trade unionist.
goddamn Marx.
Mate, yeah. You'll learn it over time. I want to flock everywhere, so yeah. I'll let you do.
Yeah.
I'll let you do the important shit, Jed, and then we can come back to that if you want. And I'll talk to them if I can kind of say, "Oh, do you want to have a sit down and chat? Be nice."
Obadiah, coming around the house, there's a familiarity to the place that you look because you decide to look. But every single room you look in, things are as you expect them to be. The bedrooms are bedrooms. The only room that you can recall being routinely locked, the study that you've been in. You don't know intimately that room, and in any case, Goss himself is in there, drinking.
Yeah, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
He's obviously a decent sort.
You find Caitlin's old room and it is decorated more childishly than you remember. There is her old study work, there are her old books, things that you gave her or asked her family to buy in for her. In that sense, there are seafaring charts, things that she would have been expected to learn for the family business, but nothing unexpected there. Indeed, hardly anything magical or arcane at all. Going back over your memories, you felt like you had taught her more in that sense than you see here.
Well,
But the
I
place
assume she
seems
just removed them to her new residence.
that's reasonable. The only room that was routinely locked was the late Lady Goss's chamber, Caitlin's mother, John's late wife, who had died before you moved in.
Hmm.
You try it now, just for the sake of thoroughness. The door opens. You'd never seen the inside, you only knew what it was. The rumour around the house was that it had been preserved, like a time capsule, for the dust to settle in to the folds in the sheet. But the room now has bunks, piles of uniform, spears and crossbows propped against the wall, and a window looking over the harbour towards the sea.
I'm surprised at that, so I'll go in and have a poke around.
Yeah.
And then, if I find nothing, I'll just go about my day.
You find nothing that you would not expect from a guard's or soldier's bedroom.
All right.
There are a couple of letters, but they are personal in nature and uninteresting. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's me done.
There is a fish soup being cooked up in the kitchen. Those of you who are hungry can take that to eat. Gromnon, you're able. Yep.
I was gonna say before I rest, I was gonna just use good berry with my last tier 1 spell, and that would do me.
You're just gonna have a good berry rather than
Yep.
soup.
Just gonna eat my
fine.
good berries.
All right.
Everyone
Absolutely.
take.
And is Tor doing anything else around the house?
No, just gonna
Yeah.
go rest up and change me spells. if
Yeah,
that's better.
absolutely. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, we'll take you into long rest very shortly. How is Jethro spending the afternoon as it heads towards evening? And sleep before it heads towards morning? Yeah.
Keeping vigil.
Doing is right.
Mm.
The throbbing in your ears, the grinding of your teeth, these are feelings that will keep you awake if you can't get a handle on them. Your brother, not your flesh and blood, probably, but he could have been. And by oath, by name, by a heritage that you've barely begun to rediscover, was killed, was given freedom by the sacrifice of others, and was exploited and killed for it. Well, how can that be right? And you realize what you're doing. You stood in that room and you talked men down from fighting. Tongi was killed in that man's name, and you stood up and you said, "We want the safety of the town." Well, that can't be right. And you recall your training, the years you spent learning balance, learning the flow of the world, learning the strength in merriment. That this idea of being a drunken master means more than simply the alcohol in your blood, but to find an ease in the world and to act upon it. And for the first time, you wonder, what the fuck is that all about? And the thoughts wrestle and squirm in your head. It would be a lot more satisfying to simply break skulls, sever limbs, drink
Oh.
blood,
Grim.
and steal teeth. Gromnon, you wander the house and find a dwarf probably older than you,
Yeah, I expect so. I think they all are.
looking out the window, Goss family uniform. And then by his age, by the surety with which he looks out, the subtlety by which he reacts to you approaching him. He knows you're there. You know he knows you're there. But he is not dissuaded from his post, from his vigil. He's probably been in the house, in the Goss family house, longer than John Goss himself has been.
Mm.
Huh?
Indeed. Hello, brother. Brother Dwarf. It is good to see a friend of my kin in such a faraway land. Where do you hail?
Yeah. Been here a while.
Toiling away.
Toiling is right, you know. Yeah. The family's, the family's had rough times before, but this, hard to know what's going to happen next.
It is a portent of things to come.
My dad used to talk about a year that had come when he was a boy. There'd been snow in the middle of the summer. Storm was big enough to swallow the town. And I start to think about that sometimes,
Sounds like a wise man. Would you be keen for joining me for an evening discussion of the toils and hardship of the Goss house and the world as it is? Perhaps I can dissuade some of your worries.
That sounds like maybe a persuasion check, Sam?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not deceiving him yet.
No.
15.
15. His nose curls for a little bit, and then I'll be eating about 6 bells.
You and the other dwarfs of this house will be there, do you think?
Yeah, I can arrange that.
Excellent. Well, I shall see you all then. Obviously, a dwarfish, some dwarfish saying goodbye. I don't know.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Sure, there's one.
Yeah.
Manana, whatever.
Yeah.
May your rocks be hard.
Yeah, rock and stone, brother. See you later.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That's the line.
Yeah. This guy's probably never seen the inside of a mine.
What the fuck?
Cool. Well, I can skip to that
Yeah.
if you wanted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the afternoon draws on. Dinner is served, a delicious fish stew. Tora's not partaking. But Jethro, after some time, the smell comes to tickle your nostrils. Obadiah, you know the routine of the house. You know the sound of servants moving along the corridors to serve food to Lord Goss. And that the staff themselves, those who are relieved of day duties, will be congregating in a room near the kitchen to eat together.
Indeed.
Your well-settled man, your dwarf, catches your eye, Gromnon. Waves you over.
Good evening, my fellow brothers. It's good to see you in these faraway hard times. I suppose that's the word for it.
There's a younger dwarf about your age. From the colouring of his beard and the shape of his nose, you might guess that he is the son of the dwarf that you met upstairs. But from the look of his eyes, the bearing of him when he smiles at you, just gently, you can recognise the only other dwarf at the table in scullery robe as his mother.
Oh, okay. So it's just a little family.
Little family unit in the household.
It's lovely to meet you. What is your family name? Put Jed on the spot.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck? One of my spells was not in my spell list. That's what?
Really? What are you expecting?
Summon Draconic Spirit. I've used it before.
Yeah.
You have definitely
Not
used
in
that
my
one before.
It's not showing up in my spell list. I keep fucking typing it in. It's like, where the fuck is it? I would be blind or no?
Yeah.
Fuck knows.
Simple enough. We've been in Seacliff family, we are. Or by my name, at least, the older dwarf says.
I've never heard of them, because I'm just going to assume I haven't heard of them.
No, yeah. Seacliff have been in Portmar for 4 generations. Not sure about before that, if I'm honest.
So that's a long old time, because generations. It's a long time.
Yeah. I can wager, well, we were somewhere near about. Alice here came down from the hills, travelling, and we met. Our eyes crossed on the docks one day, and she told me she was looking for work.
It's a lovely story, isn't it?
And then, maybe 40 years on, we were together before our own lad was born.
What's your name then, young man? I'll say.
Yeah, he's probably about your age.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a list of dwarven names here. And the only name that's coming to my head is Bostic. So yeah, fuck it. His name's Bostic as well. Bostic Seacliff.
Bostic, you say? Oh, I'm surprised that hasn't been mentioned before. I believe my companions have met a dwarf called Bostic in the halls of Mazenhall.
A fair few lads named Bostic in Mazenhall, yeah.
Well, yes. See, that's where I recently hail from. I've not been there my entire life, but of recent I have. See, I'm myself from a cleric of X, a holy order of Twitter. Yes, yeah, that's it. Yeah. Exactly. And I've,
Where is the Temple of the Birds?
the birds. Well, have you been to Mazen Hall?
And the woman there, she nods. Alice?
Well, I'll explain where it was my meetings were taking place.
Yeah,
Where I
absolutely. Which was
met
in the Red
guys.
Market, if I believe.
Yes,
Oh.
yeah, it was. Yeah, and I met the guys. Yeah,
Temple of Birds there in the Red Market. That's
yeah, that'll do. I'll be the Temple of Birds, whatever,
yeah.
from now on. Yeah. You see, there was a very unfortuitous incident with the old
Yeah.
faith in Mazen Hall, and I have offered solace to the flock, and would like to do the same with you if you are at all interested in hearing.
Yeah.
Some of my sermons.
There's a bit of the conversation there, Sam. I'm inclined to ask for a deception check.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Because
that is 29.
29. What's happening there is Gromnon is simply allowing people to misunderstand him and running with it.
Yep.
The idea that there is an order of birds in an underground marketplace is, laughable if you consider it for a second. But you've just gone, yep, that's right, and sold it so well that these folks who've not been in Order of Birds, not been to Mazen Hall for 40 years if they've been there at all. Well, I suppose it's plausible. Times do change. It's quite an idea.
I know. You see, I practice what some might consider to be more of the older faith. Anyway, this, would you allow me to, just discuss some of the teachings and see what you think?
Well, just
perhaps we could become, friends or some sort.
Just what is it?
It's nice to have friends in different ports and cities.
Well, indeed. I mean, we pray for good tides and gentle storms here.
Very, very similar to the sort of teachings I hold dear.
And Bostic here went up to the Temple of Woodland Harvest up in Tolvaden 2 years past, maybe. When was that?
I think my counterparts have discussed that with me. This Obadiah Black. Sure you know him. It's very important around here.
Blackwell, yeah. Lofty head on him. Gives you many ideas sometimes, but
skinny arms.
Yeah.
Indeed. Anyway, if I may, Jed, I will just go into bullshittery and preach some stuff about. Let me get my brain in gear.
Yeah.
Long has the dwarf toiled at those higher ups' expense. I'm sure you are aware of this, working in a place such as this. This is not what the dwarf should be doing. Our calling is in strife, working together for a greater cause, that of the dwarven kin. In Mazen Hall, we toil at the rock face, and here I assume you toil at house duties of various sorts. I wouldn't know the details, but I'm sure it is toil nonetheless. And you toil for your own health and well-being. What if I was to tell you there is more than this? What if you should toil for a greater cause, that of your brethren and the dwarfs together against the tyranny of the known world? But of course, I mean the patriarchal hierarchy of lords and ladies across this world. You see, my patron? No, not patron. My god has communed with me through dreams and visions, and his intention is to equalize the world's standing among the populations, dwarf or not. And I'll just roll some bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. For the rest of you sitting over at the table, you've heard some of Gromlon's sermons before, but this is laid out a little bit.
19.
Only a 19.
I've rolled a 5.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no, 18.
18.
Math.
Yeah, absolutely.
Such a different...
It'll make a difference. The two older dwarves, their eyes glaze over after a little bit. They're listening. They're going to let you get it all out.
That's polite, wouldn't it?
Bostic's hands are softer than his parents'. His beard is a little less grey. Bostic Seacliff is listening to you. Bostic Seacliff is getting some ideas in his head.
I'm corrupting the youth.
Dinner comes by. Is delicious. Well balanced. Fine and gentle in the taste. And leaves you feeling full. After a while, there are opportunities to look around the room and realize how many empty seats there are at this table. And some of the staff begin to do so. Versus even the night before.
I will take that opportunity to adjust my sermon. You see, around here, I can see that you have all bled and died of the toil of your lord. Perhaps it is time for a change. I'm not suggesting anything rebellious or, outright treacherous, but perhaps it is time for you to realize that destiny is in your hands, not that of Lord Goss or whatever the other one was called, Claxton. I was about to say Beck, but that's the other two. I say, free yourselves of this chain that burdens you. Turn to a life of freedom and want. Toil for yourself, not the masters. I'll leave it at that. I'm also addressing the whole room there, not just the dwarfs, so I can see them all looking.
Yeah. The room is quiet. A couple of folks stand almost immediately to leave. And gradually, nobody speaks to address Gromnon. But there is a tension in the room. Some people are thinking this. Some people are thinking that young men and women have been led to their deaths at the hands of other poor young men and women in the streets of Porthmarn today. And so maybe the word goes unspoken. But maybe it would be time to change what's going on, change how the town is run.
Should you ever want to learn more, my friends, as they're leaving, I will say the location of Mazenol. Because, I had a second in command who I assume is running everything. Faithful servant who's taken over for me.
A toady.
Yeah, that'll do. What was the guy who fucking was throwing potions at us? Him.
Mr. Powders.
Yeah, Mr. Powders. There we go. Yeah, from now on, Mr. Powders is second in control.
Mr. Powders is leader of the cult of Gromlin. The
He is
Chase
now.
in Mazenor.
Cult of yeah, but all for my own gain. But yes,
Yeah.
not for power, for money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take 7 wives when I get back.
The cult of relief from toil
Gonna-
and suffering.
I'm gonna take this guy's wife by the time I get back.
And so the night comes on.
Yeah, that
The summer
that's pretty
night where dusk lingers. And darkness is slow to truly take hold, but sleep, tiredness merely intensifies. That dump of adrenaline across the morning leads to absolute exhaustion by true nightfall. And sleep begins to scratch at the eyes. Does anybody else have anything else to do before bed?
Nope.
Right, take yourselves through long rests. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah? Okay.
How many things are you attuned to? Well, maybe the Swift answer needs to go
Is that-
somewhere else. Is that something you have to attune to?
Is the splinter magical? Does that require attunement?
Yeah, crack
Needs
on
to
then.
be equipped. Sift Damser, braces of displacement, belt of giant strength. Is Sift Damser, does that require attunement? I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think it does.
I think most
It's
of
up
the
to
trinket type things don't, do they?
Yeah, the kind of magical items like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No problem. Yeah. It got thrown and not picked up again. I'm happy to rule that you did pick it up again, but you missed when you threw it. That's for sure. Yeah. That is a kind of that does not require the Iron Bands of Bolero does not require attunement. Yeah, it's just yeah, sounds good.
Now you can pick up Barbarian. No, I mean you could like thingy.
Take a level. Yeah.
Yeah, get
Yeah.
rage.
Rage on her. Yeah.
Rage and just enough into wild magic. So when you start beating on people, you start doing stupid shit. Yeah, I'm really annoyed for some reason. I can't find Summon Draconic Spirit, even though the book it's in is shared. It's like I'm fucking really pissed off at that. I know, but I can now not find it in the list. Yeah, yeah, I had it in my thingy multiple times. It's like, if I know a fight's coming, I'll stick it in just in
Yeah.
case because it's a fucking good spell. But yeah, it's just disappeared from like the ready list. So it's, even though it's still in the spell book, if I search in D&D Beyond. Oh, fuck's sake.
Having strength means I can ride around on your shoulders, casting spells while you fight things.
Damage should have gone up.
Your,
Oh, yeah,
your hit bonus. Yeah. Yeah.
A monk with a spear.
Reasonable.
No.
yeah. Japanese monks use naganatas. They're like fucking spears. Same
You're a
difference.
slashing weapon.
The morning comes. You awaken in same places. Will Jethro have slept out a different place? Sort out a different place to sleep? I know the rest of you had bedrooms of one form or another. Slept out in the yard again. Yeah.
I did not feel safe sleeping in Lord fucking Goss's house. I went and found a bush to lay under my shell.
Great.
After I pissed him off.
As the night comes on, as the night passes by, the cold wind picks up. Clouds roll in. The morning is grey and feels as though rain is around the corner. Tor, it's pretty easy to find a lump of gorse to curl up into.
Right. Oh.
Yeah. But the morning comes in. Fresh bread is cooked. Bacon is served. What would you all like to do?
Stroke Bob. Hello,
Gather
Bob.
my stuff. Get
Say
ready
good
to
morning
go.
to everyone. And then once fucking we've eaten, I will do my little prayer for Tongi and I will cast reincarnation while I'm doing it. And as he's Jeffro's buddy, Gex, why don't you roll 2d10s and we'll see what he comes back as. Eventually, he gets born.
Oh, baby.
Was it 97 or 16? Okay. So a 16, he comes back as a dwarf mountain. A mountain dwarf.
That is cruel.
Yeah.
He'd been imprisoned by mountain dwarves for his entire life.
He gets reborn, but he keeps all his former memories, life, and experience.
Oh
Well,
my
What
god.
age is he, though? He's a baby.
Let's see.
It doesn't say. Roll me another D100 then, Gex. You can roll. Yeah. So it's a D100. It's not 2D10.
Do you want 2 dice to actually do it?
Yeah,
Let's
2D10.
give you.
Here you go.
Oh, if it's 9 and a 7, it's a tiefling.
God. Now we have to kill her.
Yeah, now it's one of the demons. Yeah.
You have
He's
met
born as a
tieflings that
tiefling.
have not been themselves infernal.
He's born as a tiefling in the hells we were just in.
Except,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh man, we should have kept him with the dwarf.
That would have been quite funny.
It's much better.
The spell
what's
forms
it-
a new adult body, it would seem. From
Yeah.
what I've seen.
Ah,
What does it look like? I'll let. Would you like to do the kind of narration as you cast this, Vic?
yeah. As I'm there chanting, praying over him, and I touch the body, you see, what looks like wispy, well, opaque white spirit at the beginning, with like green aspects. Parts of leaf and plant start to swirl around, and his body slowly starts to disintegrate into this swirling cloud and reform from its original material into a tiefling. And steps forth from the swirly green magic of grass and whatnot. A reborn
big are his
tiefling
horns?
tea thief.
How big are his horns?
Oh, they're tiny little nubs at the minute.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm hoping he's reformed of massive horns so we can all be like, oh
He's
my
got
god,
one
look at the
massive
teeth.
horn out of his
Look
forehead.
at the teeth he's got on his head.
Yeah, he has fucking Minotaur style horns coming out the side of his skull.
Like a Hieland Key.
Yeah, like a big mountain goat with a big horn. Well, you seem so sad about your friend dying. I thought I'd bring him back for you. I know he's not the exact same, but still the same by inside.
I'm going to say I'm not here. I'm still preparing in my rooms.
Yeah, I'm not here either.
New tiefling body's eyes ripple and flicker. The lips curl back into a snarl. The eyes open. A grumble in Orcish. Brother. Cannot kill me, eh?
I mean, they did.
Cannot kill me, eh?
Now you're the only orc clan with a tiefling.
You should just make fucking Vic's mate play this guy, and he should join our party.
I will give him the option. I will absolutely give him the option.
Yes, you should. Yes, and we can have just like a fight or something.
He said he'll message you tomorrow before
Yeah.
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. Get him to drop me a line. We can work it out because I can say to him like, look, I can give you something that will fit into. Yeah, I'll talk to
He's
him.
really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
obviously, anything he had on him, on his body, would just be on the floor. So his necklace with teeth and shit would be there.
Oh yeah.
Raising his own hand, the Tongi's perspective then changes. His eyes follow from his fingertips down towards his shoulder. The left hand comes up and touches the face, the unfamiliar chest. The look is not of disgust or even unhappiness.
Imagine it's just pure surprise.
Absolute uncertainty, and when he sees the necklace of teeth. Give me an insight roll, Gex. He picks it up, and he's looking back to you. The look is not just uncertainty, but an unspoken request for permission to put that back on. We'll continue as Teeth Thief, eh? Yeah.
Is he by
Thank you,
chance green skinned?
Oh, he's got to be red now.
Oh, I
No,
guess you could
tieflings can
roll
be
for
any
the
colour.
three different
Can be any kind of, the skin that's come up. It
I
has
thought they
something
could be
of
any
it.
colour.
Orcs themselves have a greenish grey tinge, right? And that is what's carried over here.
Hmm.
The skin colour is obviously his build is slighter. The knuckles are less hairy. The jaw sits differently. The tusks have switched to sharp,
head.
needle-like teeth. The horns affect the balance of the neck. The tail affect how trousers might fit.
Is he still as tall as he was? I assume he was tall.
He's not as tall as he was,
Hmm.
but lighter. And as Tongi's new body stands,
alive.
he realizes, feels for how he can move. Makes a fist for the first time. Takes a couple of uneasy steps. And then spreads toes in the dirt. Looks between the two of you. Says, "Got any clothes that will fit me?"
I'm sure a loincloth will work.
Mm. At once, servant comes back with something from the laundry. It is Goss Guard uniform with the badges pulled off.
Oh, did I do? Is the giant's corpse anywhere close?
The giant,
Ah.
you have not found the giant's corpse.
It's going to be in the town somewhere.
You haven't heard anything overnight. Unsettlingly so, in fact. Quieter than the town should be. For Gromnan, for Obadiah, the morning
would
is
like-
coming in to find you. It is colder than it has been for a few days now.
I'd like to find Bostic 2, Electric Boogaloo,
Yeah.
and go and say my goodbyes, for I must leave. to the city, and we may not meet again for a long time, but it was lovely to talk to him. And I will give him a blessing of I cast guidance.
I wish you every good luck. I'll
You
spread
too, my boy.
what you've told me to anyone that will listen. Is it only dwarfs?
No, everyone. I will say.
All right.
I just, you
Have
know,
you not
it is.
explained to him to preach to the ones that are the most disadvantaged, the most disillusioned?
It is easier for me to obviously commune with the dwarfs. I'm sure you may learn of it as I have in my short time. You look about the same age as me. You might already know of the prejudices against us short folk.
Sure.
That is all. It is for everyone. Not everyone is the same, as you may know. Lots of good tall people around.
As I strolled out into the courtyard. Fine example.
That one there, stay away from him.
What the fuck is that thing? And I'll be pointing aghast at the demon that you were all conversing with. Jed, how prevalent are tieflings in this
you have
world?
met tieflings, but there aren't many.
Okay.
In Porthmarn, there is a young woman tiefling who goes by the name of Kismet, who works as a kind of guide or fixer for travelers coming in off ships. Functionally, she makes a living as an adventurer in Porthmarn. She, hangs out by the docks quite a bit, and so you'll have met her doing that.
Bet she
But
does.
yeah, she works to.
So we probably saw her on the first day of this.
Yeah, absolutely. You have met her, and in your time down at the docks, will have seen her down there. And everybody has seen other tieflings. There were tieflings in Shymeet, in the market where you went around there, and there are tieflings that live in High Lurie, for example, in places where you've all been.
Apart from me.
I don't think you wrote any tiefling NPCs into Mazenal. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I won't have even questioned it. It's just a new face at this point. I ain't scared of the idea of other races.
Oh no.
Liberator, Black.
Sure.
I reincarnated his soul. I thought the Mordors deserved another chance.
They told me I died.
Poor Jeffro there was so fucking distraught. I didn't like seeing it.
For the gods must favor you, Tor. This is.
We'll say too. I
gift.
told him I could bring this entire town down if I wanted to. Christ. We've only seen a tiny bit of my power yet, boys.
Didn't know you had that in you, Tor. Interesting.
I know more than you know.
Hmm.
You know,
He's also
when
got a
the planet...
tiny willy in his show.
Ah, well, you haven't fucking seen it yet, have you? You haven't seen what could come out of there. Christ. You know.
I'll stroll into the garden.
Snakes have two penises?
And I'll start burning the sigils for the teleportation circle into the ground.
I go, don't worry about that. Just find me a fucking tree and we'll get there in seconds.
Not spending another day looking for a fucking tree.
There's a tree right out there. Christ.
All right, there's a tree probably in this garden.
There's so there aren't any inside the courtyard, but just outside on the on the cliff, just the other side of the wall, there's a worn and weathered old beach.
Where's it going to leave us?
Well, straight to the temple. Or even into the king's garden if you want to. Right. Maybe worth speaking to Lord Goss and ask him if he can stay here for a day or two to get himself right.
there was a fight to be had, we'd be helping you. Good chance to get in a fight felt right. Oh. The boys, they died well.
You shouldn't have as much problem going into towns and stuff now. People they might look at you a bit weird, but you know. No.
He smiles, a broad, sharp-toothed tiefling smile. Smiling's not an expression that comes naturally to orcs. The tusks kind of get in the way, but for this new life, it looks natural. It looks great.
If he does end
Looks
up dying, I just reincarnate him like I did you. So don't worry, it won't be the end.
Yeah. See you another day then. Another day. Another day. And he looks up at the sky, and all of you feel the first raindrops on your shoulders.
I'm gonna be extremely kind and give him 5 gold. Unusual for me.
Yeah. You've got a lot suddenly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 of it.
Is that on top of the? Is that on top of the 1,000 gold pieces you just spent to cast the spell, Vic?
Oh shit.
I just
Okay,
looked at the fucking spell to see the chart. The what?
Rare oils, unguents, where for these? Ooh. Ooh.
I'll knock 1,000 gold off the party wealth. That's one of Bostic's diamonds.
Thank you. I'm glad that you caught that. Yeah.
Oh fuck. No,
Oh yeah,
Fucking-
definitely.
fucking Clackerson can play for it. We just took 12 grand from them. They fucking killed him.
Oh my god.
I'll go back to their fucking town and back to their house and ransack it.
See this orc, young Bostic? And I'll point at Jeffro. This man is a man who understands the plight.
Yeah, and he's not so
Referring
used
to
to.
the Mazenhall comment he had just a second ago. You ever heard it? Yeah.
And he's not so
It's my
used to
narrative.
civilization. You know, going out into the world like that for the first time. It'll be a bit rough, especially the town, the state it's in.
I'm inclined to give him my Civitar +1.
Okay.
No. I've had this since Titus died. I picked it up off the floor because it survived the explosion. I don't think you'd even... You might recognise it, but whenever he used it, it was always on fire with green flames. He was always using
So
it.
definitely.
Yeah, so definitely, yeah, is the answer to that. Yeah. My god my godly magics has told me no. Yeah, that's a 19 deception. There we go. I mean, it is fine, but I don't know, so I'm lying. Yeah. Right, scratch that off. He's now armed.
Alright. Great.
Free. Right, we've set him up for an awesome reoccurring character, Jed. He better come back.
Tongi.
Yeah, he'll be the
Yep.
town serial killer in the future.
We'll get to Mazenhall and everyone will be dead, and it's now an orc place.
Literal murder hobo.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's just got like magical powers as well, because fucking tieflings can cast magic like a
Yeah.
day.
Tieflings get, innate spellcasting.
So he's like,
Oh, Jed gets to roll Toggy a proper character sheet. Feel
I
like
hope
I'm ready.
Jamie does take him up, because that would be a very unique character.
I could...
Send me a channel link. I'll send it to him. I'll go. Here's some homework. He might watch it because he's been here a couple of times when we play. So
If you want the link, Vic, I'll get it for you.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. I see. You've got a dedicated playlist for.
Well, it's going to be painful torture. Maybe highlight the one that he's actually in and say this is a possible option if you want a character.
It's the last three, isn't it?
More than the last three. I mean, Tongi
Oh, way more.
came through hell.
be like the last.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
No,
everything
it's not.
everything that
Since
you've got.
December.
Yeah.
Since after
Yeah.
December, sorry. After the Christmas one, isn't it?
So yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
this year's. So from. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've only missed 3 or 4, so that's too much to put any human through.
We could give him the boiled down.
Yeah. And then he'll go, nah, I had an idea for a dwarf.
The super cut.
Yeah, dwarf slaver from the town of
Yeah.
Mazenhall. Sake. Right, yes. Sorry, we'll keep derailing,
Okay.
Jed, don't we?
What's the plan for travel? What would you like to do?
Should we just go turn up in the King's Garden? Because I did pretty sure I paid attention to one of the trees in his fucking like grounds. Or we can end up in the tree temple, the
Yeah.
the nature temple. Your pick.
I'll give you an opportunity to make what am I trying to say? An Arcana check tour.
What now? Or
Yeah. While you're discussing that part of the plan, and everyone else can have a think about whether you want to use a teleportation circle. Teleportation circle will get you to your own magic school, Gav.
Yeah.
Which I can't remember the name of your teacher.
11.
Yeah, with a K.
Can I? It was a million years ago.
Began with a K. His name was.
Oh, it was no.
Canute.
It was an Irish name, and I think it translated
Priam or
into a
Prius or
K.
something. Yeah.
Whatever. I'll find it. Cav's definitely not an Irish name. It's
Yeah,
Welsh.
the K is silent.
That's it. That was it. Bono, silent K.
the edge.
Looking back through notes,
Oh no, silent.
I've got a Thane Hadril.
Sure. My notes are just one long document. It's tens of pages. Searching it now there's no point.
Let's go with Thane. His name is Thane, your old magic teacher. I've got Said as one of your old classmates. Said is now working in the palace. But yeah, you have a teleportation circle that is in the one of the rooms of your old magic school. which you have revisited and bought scrolls from since being there recently, so you know that it's still open and intact as of your last visit to thing. Yeah.
Lear.
Leah? Yeah?
Yeah. Lear's Esoterica and Arcanum.
Got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the other option, but I'm happy to do either.
Fuck is Thane?
But I will be talking to Jethro while, Tor is doing his Arcana thing. Going,
Yeah.
It might make more sense to take Tongi with us. It is. But he's been in captivity all his life. And he's in an alien town with no friends.
Could be our squire.
No, he could be one of us.
Where are you going?
To see the king.
Everywhere.
King of where?
This land. From here to where you were a prisoner. And further.
He
Many
kind of
miles.
shrugs.
Well, I think it'd be safer if you stayed with us for a little while. And then, when we're out on the open road and the plains, you can make your ways.
Hmm.
We can point you towards the mountains. If that's where your people live. Looking around, I realize I was casually racist.
I believe he can fit in anywhere in any town now. Because they're still going to be scared of him. Because tieflings aren't very common.
I think in Mazenhall he'd still be imprisoned.
I'll use my telepathy on Jethro. Jethro, he's got the mind of a child. He's thick as fuck. He's going to get eaten if we leave him to the wilds and his own ways. He's a slave who's been eating gruel and been trod on all his life. He now has a magical weapon and sharp teeth. We cannot let this fucking thing out into civilization.
Give me a minute. I'm
to
checking something
civilise
really
him.
quickly.
And then instantly, Jethro starts ordering him around like he's the slave he just freed.
What's this lad's intelligence? So
Well,
we're finding out.
It's not loads.
I mean, he was born into
Say
slavery, so he can't be great.
He
If
can,
it's
however,
free, when
he
I can
does-
reset my
yeah.
spells, I can get awaken, and we can awaken his intelligence.
Why do we not? Why do you not take him as a student, Jeffrey?
he
Teach him the way of the monk.
Tongi looks up to you with a bit of surprise, and all the windows on the wall behind him fly open.
He has
don't worry.
thaumaturgy, doesn't
He is accidentally casting thaumaturgy.
He has a some side effects.
Yeah.
New body. You'll be fine. Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Absolutely not. Far too dangerous.
Yeah.
Look what happened to Caitlin.
Need to learn to be safe.
Well, if we teach him healing magic, at least he can't hurt anyone with it.
Not from undeads.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not. You've given him
Ah.
a choice.
Yeah.
Give. You won't die in 20 minutes or murder half a town.
Coming with you then, eh? Yeah.
Do you want to leave?
Stay with us till you get a better offer.
How do we get there to this king?
Well, let's just go to that tree up there.
No, I don't think he. I think
Slight.
Vic said he was small.
Tor is short, Obadiah.
Oh, no, I think Obadiah is just. I think he was kind of medium build and skinny.
He's skinny. I'm stocky, and the other one's fucking turtle.
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Good
sure
lad.
he's seen me summon a dragon spirit. So hey, church or castle?
Don't care.
Okay, straight into the king's castle it will be.
Can I get Obadiah to
Not
make me an
castle,
Arcana
garden.
check as well on this discussion?
Yeah. To be fair, Obadiah is more wondering how the fuck that turtle just did that because of his specialty and interest in death. He's very. Yeah.
Okay. Gromnon, you haven't. Yeah, I don't think. Sam, as much as I know you're good at Arcana, I don't think that.
I care.
27.
Yeah, I don't think you'd have the knowledge for the thing. 27 on the Arcana check?
Yeah.
Discussing the transport via plants. 27's high enough. You'll know a little bit about how that works. You might also be aware of the Forbidden spell.
I remember they had an anti-magic barrier in the area, or in the
There
castle.
was a specific anti-magic barrier within the temple,
Oh, I
within
remember.
the throne room, so to
Within the
speak.
throne room, yeah.
And you're well aware of that. That's not what you're rolling for. But if you were this king, if you were this level of paranoid, you might also put up spells to prevent.
Yes.
I'll mention my knowledge of the Forbidden spell to Tor.
And
then I will adjust my casting, and we will go for the Temple of Nature, which I imagine doesn't necessarily have that spell cast on it.
You discussed that specifically with the cleric, if I recall, being able to transport back there. Well, I know. Remember you asking me about it at the time, definitely. So you can be pretty confident based on that interaction. That's almost likely to be what that tree is there for that period. Yeah, that purpose.
And once we get outside near a tree, I will cast my level 6 spell and transport us via plant.
Okay.
Which really cost me nothing to do. Yeah. We will end up in the temple. Pretty much. It just cost me the spell slot. That's it.
No material component.
Yeah, just walk up to the tree, touch it. And then as long as I know the other tree, pow. And it's on the same plane of existence.
Yeah.
Oh yes. It was or pick up wind walking, which is pretty good.
You recall, you consider this beach on the cliff top, gnarled by winter storms, the leaves pattering, the bark pattering now, with rain falling around you. The rain isn't especially cold, it isn't especially hard. It won't last until the afternoon. But now, the 4 of you, the 5 of you, including Tongi, link hands. Tor's hand places upon the tree, and you recall a week before, maybe more?
I think, it's a bit over a week now.
Yeah.
It's probably been about, 4
Yeah.
or 5 days since we were in Mazenhall, at
Yeah.
least.
The oak, as it was, enclosed around within this small temple upon a street of shrines upon shrines near the cliffs of Hyluri, hundreds of miles to the north. Yeah, 100 miles about to the north. And your hand against the bark molds and melds. And those of you stood in line watch Tor walk forwards and pulling you with him forwards into the tree.
Conga.
And from one rainy cliff top to another, enclosed now, bolstered against the wind, but still open to the sky and the falling rain. You step out.
And probably a slightly surprised dwarf priest. Right?
There is a dwarf priest, but he is not alone as he was last time you were there. He is handing out bowls of food to families huddled around his shrine. The door is open. There is a queue of people coming in. People look hungry, scared, desperate. But here they've come to seek solace. As have you.
Well, boys, it looks like we're going out of the frying pan and into the fire.
It's a little early, but I think we'll leave it there. Having had a functional beach episode. A little bit of recuperation. You know. A little bit of downtime after the rest there.
A little bit of fermenting insurrection.
A little bit of fifth column.
That's the one.
Fomentation?
Yeah, fermenting it.
You ferment a drink, and I would say you foment rebellion, no? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen doing one. Not sure if I give a shit.
Send it to me. I'll enjoy it.
Jed, what is it to learn a spell again
From a scroll, or
from a spell book?
do you know what? I'm going to check the actual rulings on it. I think like it's a certain amount of hours and a gold cost. I'm inclined to say it is a number of hours equal to the spell's level, and there is a gold cost, but I don't care about that. Like, I'm not interested in penalising you for it, if that makes sense.
Okay, so I'll look it up.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm going to make the ruling. Tell you what, it's an hour per it's an hour per spell level, per level of the spell, and within that, then I mean, you know, you've had a lot of downtime the previous day, so if you've got stuff that you've wanted to learn from a scroll while you're in the Claxton house, that's pretty easy. I think there are specific rules about how much time you can spend during a long rest doing that, but it'll be just in the wizard spellcasting rules. Let me get my player's handbook. Wizard. That's warlock. Don't care about that. Illusion. Preparing and casting spell, spellcasting focus, spellbook. Learning spells. It's either your spellbook. Copying a spell into the book. That's what we want to do.
Sure.
When you find a wizard spell of first level of high, you can add it to your spellbook if it is of a spell level that you can prepare, and if you can spare the time to decipher and copying it. Copying that spell into your spellbook involves reproducing the basic form of the spell, then deciphering the unique system of notation used by the wizard who wrote it. You must practice the spell until you understand the sounds and gestures required, then transcribe it into your spellbook using your own notation. For each level of the spell, the process takes 2 hours and costs 50 gold pieces. Ignore that cost. I don't care about it.
Alright, so it'll take like 12 hours to learn.
12 hours for a level 6 spell.
Cool.
Obviously, you can you don't have to spend that in one block. You can break that up.
Yeah, so I'm going to throw it into my spellbook now, but I won't use it for a day or two.
Yeah, okay.
If we have downtime, if you're cool with that.
It's up to you whether you have the downtime or not. I mean, you haven't had. Yeah.
Well, I didn't explicitly state it, so I'll state it next session.
Let's say you've done half of that already. If you were doing that, if you were doing that yesterday, some of that while you were at the Goss house, you haven't spent too long investigating and looking around. You can find another. You can find another 6 hours. Sometime over the next day or so. But if it or not, depending on what you guys get up to, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to take the table down.